What is Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework and how it can help organizations in their cloud adoption journey?
So the Cloud Adoption Framework, or CAF as we call it, because we love an acronym at Microsoft, is a bunch of best practices that Microsoft employees, customers, and Microsoft partners have put together. And it's there to try and help others who are joining on their cloud adoption journey kind of avoid the mistakes that maybe someone else has done, or help them just in that guidance path. Because some organizations have lots of money and they can throw lots of resources at this cloud adoption journey, right? Whereas others are maybe smaller or don't have that budget and experience. So the CAF kind of helps those organizations that are maybe struggling a bit with the cloud adoption just find their way and do it properly and do it right, and not make a mess of it, to be honest.
How can we find this cloud adoption framework?
So there's a great short link, and it's aka.ms/CAF, and it takes you into the landing page for the Cloud Adoption Framework. And from there, you can kind of browse through it. There's lots of information, and you can jump into the section, or you can jump into some of the assessment tooling that we have within the CAF as well. So this is the landing page for the Cloud Adoption Framework, and as you can see, it's kind of broken into sections. You can jump in and get started into the documentation, or there's some tools and templates here, or there's a what's new section. So if you've been using the Cloud Adoption Framework and you're coming back to it after a few weeks or a few months or whatever, you can jump into this what's new and see what's there, and then start your journey from there. And like I said, their sections are all broken up into the CAF, so you can jump into it depending on where you are in your journey or what you want to learn. So yeah, there's a wealth of information at that link. Link again is aka.ms/CAF.
One can imagine that there are different types of journeys depending on the application moving to cloud or where they are in the journey of adapting cloud. So how one can get started? Is it going to be a self-assessment, or what would be the best entry point?
So there's different ways you can enter. So like I said, we have assessment tooling within the Cloud Adoption Framework, which is basically just some surveys that you answer questions about who you are, who your organisation is, what your objectives are, and then it gives you this great starting point. So it says, well, maybe you actually have to look at upskilling your team first because you've got no cloud skills. So you really should start your cloud adoption journey by upskilling your staff. Or, you know, if you've got a monolithic application and you're looking to, you know, move it to the cloud, this kind of self-assessment can help you. But you don't have to participate in the self-assessments to use the Cloud Adoption Framework. You can just go in. It's documentation. You can just read it at your leisure. It can be your bedtime reading, and you can dive in. It's split up into sections. So again, depending on what you want to learn and where you are, you can just dive into those sections and pick at it, regardless of what size your organisation is, what vertical you're in, or like where you are on that cloud adoption journey as well.
Would you be able to brief 6 phases of cloud adoption framework considering a customer scenario you may have came across?
So we've got strategy, plan, ready, adopt, govern, manage, and organize. So there's different parts. So the strategy is about helping you build that business case. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to convince your business to go with the cloud, the strategy part is great for giving you advice on how to do that and build that business case, because 9 times out of 10 IT people don't really do that. That's not really their job, but building that business case is maybe a new skill for them. So there's some great guidance in the strategy section for doing that. Within the plan section, that's all about trying to discover your environment, trying to discover where your staff are on that skills journey that they need to be for using the cloud as well. And it's all about just the discovery and trying to, you know, make sure you've got all the pieces of the jigsaw and you've got all the instruction set before you embark on that journey. The ready part is all about actually building that clouding landing frame. So now that you've decided to go with the cloud, we need to actually start building up some infrastructure on the cloud. And at Microsoft, we call it either a landing zone or a minimum viable product. And that's basically just your networking. So it could just be one virtual network. It could be site-to-site VPN between your on-prem and your cloud environment. It could be a couple of user accounts. Depending on what your landing zone is, you need to have that, right? You need to have that wee bit in the cloud so that you can then move your workloads into. So that's really what the ready is about. Adopt is actually about starting to do some of that, moving your workloads into the cloud, whether that be lifting and shifting them as IaaS servers and putting them in there, or trying to, you know, make a SaaS application or a PaaS application and installing it in the cloud. So the adopt phase is really the part where you actually do the cloud migration as well. Your govern is around putting in those guardrails for the cloud. And that's not about stopping anyone using the cloud. It's more about safeguarding yourself, because it's really easy to accidentally spin something up in the cloud that costs thousands of dollars, right? We've all done it. we've all ate through our budget quite easily, and it's about putting those guardrails in to stop that kind of thing happening, and stop people maybe accidentally, again, opening up port 80 on a server or a web app or whatever, because again, it's really easy to do. You know, humans make mistakes sometimes, and we're all able to do it. But if you put in some guardrails, if you put in some governance, you can stop that and help protect your staff and your organisation. So that's what the govern section is around. Your manage is about understanding how you kind of flip your organisation and how you flip your operations teams around to manage the cloud, and what they're responsible for and what they're not responsible for. And that's around things like, when you move to the cloud, you're no longer looking after everything in your data center. You know, you don't have to look after the hardware sometimes. You don't have to look after maybe software patching if you're going down the PaaS or the SaaS route. So it's about trying to, you know, decipher what everybody's job now is, and if you still have stuff on-prem, how you manage that and how you kind of divide up your teams, and so they all know their responsibilities as well. And the last one, which is the newer section that we've got, is organising or organise. And that's about helping, again, figure out how your team's structured and how you can collaborate with your business, because it's not just an IT operation moving to the cloud, it's really a business operation. You know, you have to have the buy-in from your end users, your finance team. Everybody has to play a part in how you're going to organise that and kind of manage that cloud going forward as well.
Are there any special tools and resources available for customers to accelerate their journey with Cloud Adoption Framework?
So we do have some assessment toolings, as I said earlier on. So let me just share here and show you that again. So yeah, on that landing page I talked about earlier, where you can get aka.ms/CAF, if you scroll down, you've got this assessment section on the documentation, and there's a couple of different tools you can jump into. We've got the Cloud Journey Tracker, which helps you identify where you are as an organisation on that cloud journey. Like I said, do you have the right objectives for moving to the cloud? It helps you understand, are you just moving to the cloud because it's the trendy thing and you don't actually have a business objective? Or do you have a business objective and how you actually match that business objective? So it's a really good survey to just have a wee look at, and it's guidance around where to start and where to focus your energy on when you start. We've got this strategic migration assessment and readiness tool, which we call SMART, and that helps those that are trying to migrate but maybe have a blocker and are struggling to unblock that. And again, we have some guidance and we can point you in the direction of helping you unblock that migration as well. The governance benchmark is actually quite useful because, again, it helps you understand where you are on that journey. And like I said, it's about putting those guardrails in and understanding them. I've seen, unfortunately, some organisations get stuck implementing governance because they think they can't adopt the cloud before they put all these guardrails in. But what they end up doing is actually stifling their cloud adoption journey. So this governance benchmark can help you understand when to put some things in place and where to put them in place, because like I said, we don't want to stop people from adopting the cloud, but we want to stop them doing the silly things that run up the bill that can, you know, lead to thousands and thousands of dollars. And And then we've got this architectural review that can help you understand how to design your workloads in the cloud, because although it's similar to how you do it on-prem, there are some things you have to think about. So those are just some of the tool sets. And we've also got Microsoft Learn. So again, this is our free learning platform where you can work through some modules and understand the cloud adoption framework in more detail as well. So there's tons of support, tons of tools. What I would say is have a go at each of them. Some of them you might find more useful than others, and you can pick maybe that one tool to go through your journey. Try and not use everything, because you'll probably get a bit confused if you try and use so many tools. But like I said, give them all a try and then find the one that matches your organization and what you're trying to do.
So if there are any customers or partners with good skill set on cloud adoption in their organizations or in their customer bases, will they able to contribute to this framework, or how will that work?
Yeah, so the good thing about the Cloud Adoption Framework is it's open source. All of our Microsoft documentation is held on GitHub, so anybody can contribute to it. So even if you see like a spelling mistake, please contribute and fix that. Or if you think that there's something missing in the Cloud Adoption Framework, please contribute and add that in. It is for everybody. Like I said, it was created by Microsoft employees, customers, and partners, and we want to continually grow that. So please do contribute and help us build this up so that everybody can benefit in the future.